From University of Maryland University College, this is Thursday Thoughts with Dr. Alan Drimmer. This series features faculty and friends of UMUC highlighting areas of academic expertise.
Hello, I'm Alan Drimmer, Chief Academic Officer at University of Maryland University College, and welcome to Thursday Thoughts, Siberian edition. Today I'm here with two special guests from Irkutsk in Siberia. We have Nadezhda Grosheva. She's the Dean and Executive Director of the Baikal International Business School, and Anna Susslova, the Chair of the Humanities and Foreign Languages Department, also at the Baikal International Business School. And I'm very grateful to be speaking with you and honored. I'm here for the 100th anniversary of the Irkutsk State University, and the University of Maryland University College has had a partnership with Irkutsk State University since 1990, so right after the fall of the Soviet Union. And we currently have a dual degree program and are very pleased to have that relationship. I should say that this relationship was one that was actually started by University of Maryland University College faculty, our overseas faculty, which is very interesting, and I think a testament to the strength and the creativity and the ingenuity of that faculty. And so this relationship is still going strong. I wanted to start by asking you first to tell us a little bit about Irkutsk State University. I've had a chance to see it. It's a very special place, but maybe you could tell us a little bit about the history and about the current structure of the school.
Да, наш университет старейший в Сибири.
So our university is the oldest in Siberia.
И можем сказать, что мы сегодня являемся прародителем всех иркутских университетов.
And so we are kind of parents of all Irkutsk Siberian universities.
Да. Нашему вузу исполнилось 100 лет.
Today it is 100 years.
И очень интересная история. Его пытались основать еще до революции, но местные власти запретили, сказав, что слишком много студентов, это беспорядки в городе.
So actually there was an idea to organize so that the university should be founded even before the revolution, but it was banned because the authority was scared that when there are lots of students, there is a kind of misunderstanding with the local authority and there may be kind of riot, and so they banned this project.
Ну и фактически основан был ИГУ во время очень непростое, во время, когда шла борьба за власть в Сибири, и, по сути, временный правитель Сибири подписал указ о создании университета.
And actually, so it was founded when the civil war started in Siberia, and the permanent government signed the law which regulated the idea or regulated the foundation of this university.
Yeah, it's a very special place tonight. We witnessed a celebration and learned about the history, and it's really very, very interesting. For both of you, Nadezhda, I wanted to ask you first, maybe tell us a little bit about your background. I know that your family has had a long history at the university, and you yourself have a prominent role and are very connected to the life of the school. And then Anna, I'd like to ask you the same thing, but tell us a little bit about you and your family and how your relationship to this school.
Да, вся моя семья всегда была связана с преподаванием, и моя бабушка закончила университет и преподавала, и была заведующей кафедрой, и мама, и папа, и дедушка у меня потомственные ученые, потомственные вузовские преподаватели.
So the life of our family is connected with the university because my grandparents and my parents, they worked as professors of the university, and all of them were chairs of different departments, and so they were teaching students, and so this is a kind of dynasty.
Ну и сегодня моя дочь стала студенткой университета первого курса.
And my daughter now is the first year student of our Baikalsk Business School.
Ну и я думаю, что и сын тоже пойдет по
And
нашим стопам.
though my son is young enough to think about that, but I hope that he will join university as well as a student first.
Я работаю здесь 18 лет,
I've been working at the university for 18 years already.
и 15 из них на руководящих должностях.
In 14 years, I've been kind of director or chair of the department or the dean, whichever. So somewhere at the top of the authority.
Okay, well, I think you're being modest. Didn't I also heard that you were also one of the youngest doctorates or PhDs in the country or in the region? Is that right? And how did you tell us about this?
Не в стране, но в университете у нас было два самых молодых доктора. Это я и бывший ректор, профессор Иркутsk.
Well, actually, it's not true for the whole maybe country, but it's true for the university because me and former rector, Dr. Arguchintsev, he was also very young PhD, and so this is that's true. I was one of the youngest doctors.
And in your role as the dean at the Baikal International School of Business, what do you do? What's your purview, and what sort of things do you work on?
Ну, мои обязанности – это полностью организация учебной и научной работы со студентами, организация учебных программ и организация всех форм функционирования студентов бизнес-школы.
Actually, I have lots of responsibilities. That's primarily dealing with students, with the organization of educational process, and responsibility for hiring the staff, and so making projects and making syllabus, all kind of stuff which is connected with the educational process.
Ну, я играющий тренер, поэтому я преподаю.
But I'm also a kind of coach, and so I'm teaching students as well.
As you're doing so many things there. It's incredible. But also, we'd like to hear from you. I've gotten to know you over the last few days. Aside from your incredible command of English, you also have a love for travel and for different cultures. So tell us a little bit about your trajectory, how you got here, and your connection to the university.
Actually, I worked first for linguistic university. This is a different university. But when this department, Siberian American department, was organized, I was invited to continue my career. And it was in 1994. And I was one of the first teachers who started this project. It was very complicated because it was our first experience working with American professors and with American administration, because the project was kind of innovative, very innovative. Nothing of the kind was in Russia, not only in Siberia. So, and our authority took a great risk to start this project. But anyway, we did it, and it was very successful. We were very enthusiastic. Actually, I went to bed somewhere at 4 o'clock in the morning very often because we didn't have enough books, textbooks. We didn't have how to teach, how to prepare students for American program, because we were preparing students for the American part of the program. 2 years they were the students of Russian university, and after 2 years they joined the program of American university. And so it was a great challenge for us, and so we felt this great responsibility because lots of depend on us, and so that was my kind of contribution to the development of the mutual project. But I am very lucky, and I'm very happy that I was among those who started this university, business school, and now it is very successful.
И внук Анны Юрьевны сегодня тут точно так же учится у нас на первом
Yeah,
курсе.
and my grandson joined school, and he's the first year student now. And I'm very patriotic to school.
And you were teaching in the American Studies department for a long time, even.
It was linguistic university.
Linguistic
it was
university,
a different
yes.
one, and I was chair of American Studies department, and I taught American Studies. I taught American culture, social and political system of the United States, lingua culture, a little bit of literature, a little bit of history. And now, actually, though we don't have such disciplines anymore in business school, only English, still we try to do something connected with this subject as well. So we are teaching students a little bit of history, a little bit of literature, a little bit of music, American music, or how to read newspapers, American newspapers, and that's fun.
So we're here in Irkutsk, in the capital of Eastern Siberia. It's a big city, but the city itself is remote in this very large country. Tell us about the role and the importance of a business school in Irkutsk.
Вообще Иркутск называют не только самым важным городом Сибири, называют серединой земли.
So it's the middle of the earth. It is called Irkutsk is the middle of the earth.
Иркутск университетский город, здесь очень много вузов, научных учреждений. И
Irkutsk is a city of students because there are so many universities and research institutions as well.
Ну и, конечно, мы были первой и остаемся единственной бизнес-школой в городе.
We're the first and the only business school in the city.
И роль нашей бизнес-школы не только в том, что мы учим студентов. Мы, по сути, являемся центром очень многих активностей, связанных со стратегическим развитием региона.
So, and actually, we don't only teach students, but also our school is a kind of strategic place where we influence the business all over the region. Because our graduates work in business and we teach businessmen from the city as well.
Мы неоднократно проводили стратегические сессии, участвовали в разработке стратегии развития региона.
And actually we participated in some seminars and strategic sessions with the government, and we were just trying to plan the strategic issues concerning the development of business in our region.
Многие наши выпускники работают на ведущих позициях и в правительстве, и в крупных корпорациях.
And many graduates of our school work for different corporations, international and local corporations, and many of our graduates work for the authority as well.
And since the fall of the Soviet Union, what is the attitude towards a business school here? The people have mixed feelings. I know that there's still I learned that here the regional government is still communist, and that there's a mix of people. But how do people view a business school? Do they see it as a path for the development of the country? Do they see it as kind of a suspicious, dangerous entity? How do people perceive your school?
Но нужно понимать, что в первые годы, когда был организован наш сибирско-американский факультет, заказчиком и спонсором учебы выступали городская и областная администрация. Наши студенты обязаны были отработать несколько лет на позициях в администрации, правительстве города и правительстве региона.
Actually, local administration was a great supporter for the development of our business school. And when we started only working in this business school, so local authority, they contributed a lot because they sponsored the education of students at our school, and all students started not paying any money. Tuition was free, and local administration paid for their tuition. That's why after graduation, our students had to work for administration also for 2 years at least, and then they could have chosen any other places. But first they should work not only in Irkutsk, but also in some regional cities as Angarsk, Shelihov, and some other cities around in Irkutsk region. So that was the responsibility of students, but they got free education. And they were sponsored by the local
Правительство первое поняло необходимость наличия действительно профессиональных управленцев в правительстве, в министерствах. Наверное, тогда заказ даже был чуть раньше, чем это был заказ от бизнеса.
Actually, it was first local government was quite aware that we needed some new types of managers. And even it was not the order from business, but mostly from the authority, because they understood that if we wanted to be successful on the market, actually we should know how to deal with the market, how to deal with business. And all our graduates, they became very innovative professionals in this field of management. Before that, nobody knew even the word manager or management, right? So how could it be that you are born, either you are a leader or you are not a leader, but you cannot be taught. But the appearance of our business school proved that, people might be taught to become leaders. And our business school was the first institution which started this program to making leaders for the regional community.
Ну и фактически мы обучаем не только hard skills, мы обучаем этим самым soft skills, это лидерство, критическое
So
мышление.
we are teaching students, not only giving them some knowledge of definite disciplines, but we are teaching them how to think critically, analytical skills, soft skills and hard skills. Yeah.
Да, те самые soft skills, которые, по сути, никогда не устаревают.
Right, soft skills which are not old-fashioned. They're always innovative, right? So we teach them how to study and how to get the knowledge, but not ready-made knowledge already which exists.
Right.
This is the innovation of our school.
So I've been here a few days and I've gotten to learn a little bit about the city. Can you tell us what kind of businesses there are here? What are the main industries and businesses that are here in Irkutsk?
Но наш регион, это регион очень богатый ресурсами. У нас есть нефть, газ, золото, дешевая электроэнергия, лес, металлы и так далее.
So our region is rich in raw resources like gas, oil, wood, and so electricity is very cheap in our region. So that's why different types of industries are developed here in our region.
У нас есть очень большой завод авиастроительный. У нас
So we have a huge aviation plant.
Да, одна из самых больших наших медицинских российских компаний, которая производит фармацевтические препараты, наша компания Иркутская.
So we have a very large pharmaceutical company, and we produce different types of medicine.
У нас очень много инновационных бизнесов здесь.
We have lots of innovative businesses.
Потому что мы здесь, по сути, из Академии наук, у нас здесь Центр научных исследований и разработок.
Because we have not only academic universities who teach students, but also research institutes. And they have lots of projects and they develop different projects and they put it into practice. Not only theoretical kind of investigation, but also just how to use it in practice.
Да, и сегодня наш университет как раз совмещает заказ бизнеса, научные разработки, ну и, в общем, их реализацию.
So, and the university is famous for its theoretical development of different issues and their practical implementation in business and in industry. And so, university is kind of, it's a kind of center already, not only academic educational center, but also research center. And a great assistance for the development of the whole region.
Right. One of the other things I've seen here is the mix of cultures, and not only in the everyday life, but also in business, with very strong influences from China, from Mongolia, from Japan and Korea. Could you talk about this mix of cultures and what it means for the university and for the city?
Ну, наш регион исторически был центром смешения культур, прежде всего потому, что сюда отправляли в ссылку самых разных людей.
So actually, our region was always the center of culture and the center of education, because very many famous people from Russia were exiled to this place, and so like Decembrists, like some scientists were also exiled, and Siberia and Irkutsk in particular was the center of the development of cultural aspects of life of the local citizens. That's why it's not something new. And the influence of China, the influence of Mongolia, because we are neighbors, and so this is kind of traditionally we are friendly, actually, right? And so we experience this mutual understanding of nature, of necessities for the development of the region, assistance, mutual assistance. And that's why it's not a problem for us, this mixture of different ethnic groups of population.
Это, наоборот, наше очень большое конкурентное преимущество региона, что мы
competitive advantage of the region.
Что мы умеем работать с разными культурами.
Because we know how to work with different cultures and how to cooperate with them.
Yeah, I have to say I didn't really anticipate that when I came here, but I've seen it the whole time I've been here, and then tonight we went to an event celebrating the 100th anniversary, and there were representatives from Mongolia, from Korea, from China, from Japan, and it was
Германия, Польша.
well, of course, yes, Germany as well. But I just see the city being a sort of a hub for so many of the cultures and the economies of the region. So it's very impressive. Last question really is, what has this relationship with the University of Maryland, what has this meant to you and to the school? It's something that in Maryland, frankly, we don't think about very often, but we value the partnership. For you, we have this dual degree program, actually the first dual degree program in Russia, I believe. What has that meant to you, and where would you like to see this relationship go in the future?
Ну, прежде всего, надо понимать, что именно возможность участвовать в партнерстве с Мэрилендом дала нашим еще тем студентам, по сути, первые учебники, да, первые материалы, первые разработки, которых не было в расформированном Советском Союзе.
Actually, we should take it for granted now that it was a very great stimulus for us, because Maryland University helped us with textbooks in management, which was kind of something strange and something new for us. And so certainly our students got the books, we got the computers from Maryland University, we got some strategic issues trying to help us to teach our students, because teachers were also not experienced in teaching management. Because now management, the word management, well, that's kind of, it's a piece of cake, so everybody understands what management is. But when we started this project, nobody was quite aware what management was. And neither teachers nor students, right, were experiencing that. And we appreciate the assistance of Maryland University, because they made us make interesting decisions and think for the future. Not to stop where we were or where the Maryland was, but trying to find some other maybe cooperative partners, right? Not only in the United States.
Ну и сегодня мы получаем от Мэрилендского университета очень много новых идей. Например, курс Knowledge Management мы привезли именно после поездки в Мэриленд. То есть у нас не было его в программе, мы вообще не думали о том, что это может быть. Но мы посетили Мэриленд, нам предложили курс Knowledge Management, мы его интегрировали во все программы, и сегодня мы заняли очень большое количество там призов, именно потому что мы сегодня ведем Knowledge Management.
Actually, for instance, this is a good example. When we went to Maryland University and we visited some classes of knowledge management discipline, we never knew about this discipline, and so we brought this kind of idea of this to teach this discipline at our university. Nobody in Irkutsk taught knowledge management, and we were the first. And it helped us to teach students and then to participate in different international projects. And our students won lots of prizes. That's thanks to Maryland University.
То есть новое веяние,
new ideas, new
тренды,
disciplines,
да.
new trends, new ideas.
Да, то есть ваш университет гораздо больше, чем наша бизнес-школа, и поэтому, скажем так, идей, возможностей, каких-то инноваций у вас, конечно, очень много, и мы можем через партнерство получить доступ вот к этим вот новым мыслям, проектам, курсам, разработкам.
We are quite aware that Maryland University College is a very innovative institution, and there are lots of interesting ideas, interesting projects which you share with us. And certainly we are going to develop these ideas and projects, and well, taking into consideration our peculiarities of our school. But anyway, so your university is larger than ours because it is a very small one, but still we are under great influence of Maryland universities, and we really appreciate the assistance of Maryland.
Да, мы, наверное, учимся вместе со студентами.
We are studying together with our students.
Потому что те кейсы, те вопросы, те
all
проблемы.
cases and all courses which are online, so they are discussing with us, and we also study, we also learn from these disciplines, a lot of stuff which we can use not only for the students who are within the American program, but for those who don't join American program, because not all our students take American program. That's because of money, first of all, right? The programs are very expensive for our students, but anyway, so this is
Учимся вместе со студентами.
so we don't only teach, but we study with our students as well.
Well, we're learning a lot too from this partnership, and I personally have learned a lot in my 3 or 4 days here. But thank you. We want this partnership to grow and be even better in the future. We're very grateful. Thank you for taking the time, both to talk about the school and yourselves. And thank you all for being part of Thursday Thoughts, Siberian edition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to you.
Thanks for watching Thursday Thoughts with Dr. Alan Drimmer. This has been a production of University of Maryland University College.